need y'all to sit down and listen today because we're going to have that conversation you definitely need to hear. And if you wait till the end, I'm going to drop some real knowledge on you. What's going on, y'all? I am Lodonis, Ravenwolf, Dragonstorm, Seer, and Sage, narcissistic abuse survivor, and I went through it all. The Hoovers, the triangulation, different narcs coming at me, enemies being recruited, friends leaving my side, the whole nine. If it's your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like, and sharing out this link. I have an entire catalog of videos on this channel showing the rise and falls of Dragonstorm. It's been a hell of a mess. So I've actually begun coaching some people, talking to others. I've been doing this for months as I was trying to find myself as a survivor of narcissistic abuse, dealing with a relationship, and finding out more about myself, more about how people react, and the cycles of abuse that we go through, and why we keep going back time and time again to a person who was in no way good for us. I've gone over a few times about rumination. Why do you keep thinking about someone who was only there to use and abuse you, who drained your financial account, who brought your enemies together, who sought out other people to ruin your name, who triangulated you with some of the worst, like the absolute low-class, low-brow, worst people? If you were lucky, and I mean this, of course, with sarcasm, you were triangulated with decent-looking people, and if you weren't, part of the devaluation process that was used against you was being triangulated with some of the ugliest, dumbest people on the face of the earth. Brothers and sisters, that was all about devaluation. When you are dealing with a woman who has no value for her body, who uses her vagina like an ATM, if you were or are dealing with a woman who is trying to obtain a body count higher than Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Dr. Fauci, she lost the ability to pair bond before she hit 18. If you're dealing with a dude that was all dick, no balls, no brains, no soul, no ethics, no truth, no honesty, no anything. You're dealing with these types of people. The reason that they are the way that they are, lying, living in cognitive dissonance, living in illusions and delusions that they create in their head, using any excuse whatsoever to manipulate and destroy, eat other people alive, drain their souls, energy vampires. It's the same reason why you kept going back. You didn't love yourself. They don't love themselves. A woman who sleeps around like that, a woman who chases money, drugs, or supply from anyone and anything that she can put in her is not a woman of any type of value. A woman who may. It's so sad. A woman who's not looking for a decent dude. She's not looking for a decent guy. That's why she didn't stay with you, brother. It's why she didn't try and make things work with you. It's why she used up your credit. It's why she had no care. It's why she run out on you in the middle of the night. It's why she would run to a dude who hits her and beats her and cheats on her. It's why she lives as a perpetual side piece. She does not value herself. She never did. She doesn't care about that. That's not on the program. She's not trying to look for a husband. She doesn't care about the kids under her care. She doesn't care about being a productive woman. The only thing that she cares about is getting money, drugs, or supply. The same thing for that dude, ladies. That dude that always cheated on you, that always had a rotation of women, that never took any responsibility or accountability, that would freak out on you, that would be abusive. If you dare held him to any standard, if you dare held him accountable for anything that he has ever done to you or anyone else, that grown toddler pacing back and forth with emotional irregularity, he doesn't love himself. She doesn't love herself. And you didn't love yourself either. It's crazy coming out of this whole thing and then understanding who I was and the fact that they need work. Yeah, they'd absolutely need. Narcissists need to go to psychotherapy. They're people with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. They need therapy, and they're never going to change, or they're never going to change, I should say, because some actually go to therapy, but they're never going to change. They're never going to become better people. Everything's a 180. Everything is 180. Good is evil. Evil is good. All right, lying is the way to be, not telling truth. Being selfish and putting your children in abusive situations where they're not being taken care of, their mental health is not a priority. That person is entirely self-absorbed. They are broken. They are smashed. Their inner child is crying, holding a blankie, an empty baba, and has been funny touched uncle, just completely annihilated. And they're never looking to heal that person. The same reason, brothers and sisters, hard truths here, same reason why you kept going back. You didn't love yourself. You didn't give yourself enough credit. You allowed yourself to be put in a situation where you kept going back into a triangulation, where you kept running back to somebody who has never proven his value. And for what? You're trying to prove yourself? How dare you try and prove yourself to someone who doesn't even love or value themselves, who's not a friend of themselves? You're not being a friend of yourself by doing that. The amount of hours and dollars, time, appreciation that I spent on someone who didn't deserve it, it boggles my mind now at this point in my life. I can't believe I treated myself so horribly. And what are you, fighting for their attention? Listen, if you see two narcissistic people or two people with NPD trying to triangulate and coming at one another, you're in the most horrible of situations. If you actually have two of them, male, female, male, whatever the case is, whatever your sexual preference is, if you've got two of them trying to ruin you at the same time, first off, there is no winning. And that's something I had to learn. When you find your authentic self again, when you finally figure out who you are, you go through the healing process. You not only heal from the trauma that the narc did to you, but you also heal the things in you that made you susceptible to a con artist, that made you chase after someone who never gave you the attention you deserved, never valued your heart, because they don't have a heart themselves. They really don't. And please, enough with anybody out there going, we should feel bad for these people because they were hurt as children and they went through. No, if you live your life as an adult, as an evil, manipulative, using, lying, awful, delusional piece of trash who has no problem destroying other people's reputations, who has no issue whatsoever going after and assassinating someone's character, that person is evil. They deserve no mercy. We do not train to be merciful at Dragonstorm. I've been saying that for a long time. So if you want to take that bleeding heart, they're victims in early. Yeah, sure, they were victims in early life. Of course they were victims in early life. That's how they became what they became. But at some point, they didn't take the responsibility. They didn't take the accountability to be a decent human being. So no, bring back dueling. No, we do not train to be merciful here. Take that bleeding heart shit across the street and go sit with some other narc abuse victims perpetually crying and making excuses for your abuser. We don't do that here. That's not how we shine. They didn't make any excuses. They didn't care, did they? And the problem is, neither did you. Neither did you. You didn't care. You didn't care. You believed the lies. Or you lied to yourself. You created those delusions yourself. You kept chasing after someone. Why are you chasing after someone? Why are you trying to win the heart of someone who does not have a heart? You think the pictures that they're posting, you think that the declarations they're making about how wonderful it is with somebody, you think that's going to last? Hell no, especially if you're dealing with two toxic personalities that keep rotating each other in and out. They keep being perpetual side pieces to one another. They keep cheating on, hitting, abusing, not even without any care whatsoever to any children or any family or anyone else involved. They do not care. They only care about the pain. Narcissists love pain. Those people do not love themselves. They do not care about themselves. They don't care about you. Why are you fighting for someone who does not care at all about you? There's no winning. It was the hardest thing for me to do when I found my authentic self, guys. The hardest thing to do for me personally, because I love a scrap. I love to fight. I love to win. There's no winning with a narcissist. None. There's no winning with a narcissist. You cannot. In a relationship, no way. Or family, there's no winning with them. It's only gray rocking. It's perpetual loss. It's losing yourself. It's having your character destroyed. That is all you're going to get from them. It boggled my mind to understand that the only way to win that situation was to not care. You have to not care. They don't care. The entire script of running around with dealing with a narcissist, dealing with those people, is they want to spread their pain. They want to destroy you. They want to turn you into them. They're energy vampires. They want to drain you of everything that makes you good. They want to destroy everything in you that makes you a good person, because to them, to that satanic personality disorder, everything's a 180. Thank you. Shout out to Scott Clark. He's the one that gave me that term. Everything's a 180. The lies are the truth. The truth are lies. Being a good person is being a bad person. If you are honest, forthright, giving, supportive, compassionate, empathetic, those things are evil to a narcissist because they do not possess them. And when they do display any of those characteristics, it's only for a love bomb. It's only to fake you. It's only to fake someone out. It's only to try and hide their character. If they're a covert, it's all about deception. Nothing is about honesty. Nothing is about truth. Nothing comes up the gut. Everything is a manipulation. And they want to turn you into that. They've wanted to turn you into that. And for a time, depending on how long you were with that narc, they did, didn't they? They did to me. Absolutely. They want to make you crazy. They want to make you think like them. They want you to play the game. Because that's all there is. They're little kitty come fuck me games. That's all they are. A bunch of lies and games. And they want you to play that game for as long as they can get you to play it while they're assassinating your character. First off, I just want to say, if you run into somebody and the first thing they go is like, my ex is a narcissist, listen and observe. There's quite a few narcs out there posing as victims just to find more supply, especially aging women narcs. They love hanging out in narcissistic abuse narcissistic abuse awareness communities. They want to turn you into them. They want you to deceive yourself, to hate yourself, to loathe yourself. And let's be honest, when you keep forgiving somebody who's perpetually lying and cheating and just tearing you down, you do lose parts of yourself. You are betraying yourself. And you do become a liar because you lie to yourself. Doesn't matter on what level it is, especially if you keep fighting for the attention of someone who wants to live in games. Here's some hard truth. If you continue to chase that narcissist, if you allow those hoovers, if you keep being invested in what they're doing and keep fighting with their new supplies, you like the games too. Have you been trained to that? Have you been groomed? Have you been traumatized into that point? Maybe. But there's a part of you that enjoys playing those games. And I'll tell you this, if you do that forever, you deserve what you get. Sorry to say it, but you deserve what you get. I've talked to a couple people. I'm coaching one or two. But I've talked to some people who continue to run in those cycles, who just think they can get vengeance against the narc, they can get revenge, think that they can win out, think that the other supplies that are being twisted and traumatized and thrown into this game of grand triangulations, that if they defeat them, that they're going to win top spot. The only thing you're going to win as far as a top spot in the narcissist world is top fool, top loyal fool. How much money can that narc get out of you? How many times can they make you betray yourself? How many times can they devalue you? The sex ain't that good, boo-boo. It's not. And frankly, sex with somebody who treats their genitals like a cesspool you're going to catch VD, or if you haven't already caught VD, you're going to get UTIs. You're dipping your wick, gentlemen, into a sarlacc pit. Does not value herself. Does not value himself. If you're caught up in that, you're just as bad as they are. That's the truth. The narcissist wants to spread pain, wants you to become like them. Are you going to become like them, or are you going to find your authentic self? Are you going to heal? The hardest thing for me to grasp was the way to win with a narcissist, as far as a relationship, is not to give a damn, is not to be involved and not play the game. That is the way you win. Narcs hate that. Narcs are jealous of everyone else. That's why they hurt other people. Remember, they're broken inside. They are broken down. They're not trying to heal or face who they are. They're not trying to heal that childhood trauma. They're trying to exasperate it and chase it. That's why some narcissistic women or broken women go after narcissists for men, because that dude's going to beat her and cheat on her and talk down to her and not value her and not value her children and not give a damn about her. Will throw her out in the middle of, will beat her ass and throw her out. It does not matter. And that broken woman will continue to go back. He loves me. Blood on her face, bruises on her fucking, he loves me. Sad, low-class, despicable, disrespected, disreputable women, not worth your time. All right, a woman who treats the cock carousel as if that is the way of life is not a woman that values herself. And if you are a man who keeps going back to a woman like that, if you keep on forgiving her when she cheats, when she's running out every night, when she's going to a dude with some Neanderthal moron who will never achieve anything great in life, never become anything grand, if you keep chasing that, you have the problem. Love yourself. Now, let's not forget, as I said As I said earlier about a woman or a man who comes to you and says their ex was a narcissist, you got to pay attention. Pay attention to the actions. Listen to what's going on. If you are versed, if you have been through, if you understand what narcissistic abuse is, then you'll be able to tell if you're being BS'd or if that person is actually a victim. There's a big difference between a person who's an actual victim and a person who is a perpetrator posing as a victim. Guys, please hit that like button and subscribe. It's your first time here. Greatly appreciate you. Share this out if you think it would help someone in your community. That difference being, if you run into someone who's actually been through narcissistic abuse, they have trust issues. They are not willing to throw themselves out there like that. They are guarded. They are constantly guarding their peace. They may not even want a relationship. They may be very reluctant to get into a relationship. They're going to be very protective. They're going to have intensely strong boundaries. A person who is posing as a victim of narcissistic abuse is going to play the victim only for a short amount of time and then is going to begin to invade your space. They're going to start wanting that relationship, wanting to have sex right away. They're going to want to get involved. They're going to become attached very soon. They're going to become accusatory very soon. There is a very distinct, very, very, very distinct difference between someone who's actually been targeted for narcissistic abuse and someone who is a narcissist posing as someone as a victim in order to get supply. And while we're on the subject, when you talk about a narcissist who uses that word, a narcissist who knows what a narcissist is, but everybody else is the narcissist, it's very confusing, as we know, when dealing with these types of people, these hoovering hobgoblins. Their deception and deception and delusion is their game. They live in delusion. They BS themselves all the time. If you don't believe their lies, you're the problem. If you don't acquiesce, if you don't capitulate to their false narrative, then you are the problem. You are the bigot. You are the this. You are the that. You are the issue. You find this quite often with like religious or spiritual narcissists. People that actually think Lord of the Rings is a Christian allegory and not built off of pagan mysticism. It takes some real ass delusion for a narcissist to believe that. Unfortunately, that is one of the go-tos. We see that with like progressive extremists. They're the first one to point the finger and call you a racist. The first one to point the finger, call you a bigot, call you a sexist. When in fact, they are saying some of the most bigoted, racist, sexist rhetoric you've ever heard because they have to project their illnesses. They have to project their delusion. They have to project those accusations. Narcissists will call you a narcissist in a heartbeat. A narcissist will call someone who is obviously a victim of abuse from another narcissist a narcissist in a heartbeat. It is the nature of dealing with narcissism and those who have NPD. They are the delusional ones. They are the accusational ones. They are projecting their illness on you. Remember this, and it's just it's all a part. It's all a natural part of dealing with NPD, of dealing with people who have an NPD. Dealing with narcissists is the first things out of their mouths is going to be an accusation of what they themselves are. It's come to a point with me as a social media personality that when someone accuses me of being the narcissist, I know exactly what and who they are. And you don't need other people to validate your position. You don't need anyone else. You do not need an outside source of validation. You do not need external validation. Let's be clear on that, brothers and sisters. That's another thing that made us weak, which is why those of us who fell for narcissists and went through that, because we needed validation on some level from that person. And narcissists want to spread their pain. They need external validation. It's why they have the narcissistic shell. It's why they love bomb and devalue and get negative fuel and do all the crazy, insane, nut stuff that they do instead of just working on themselves and being a productive, good person in society. You do not need external validation. You do. You should know who you are. Understand who you are. Do the healing work. Figure yourself out. Go to therapy if you have to. You should not need external validation from anyone. So if you are in a situation where you have been smear campaign, character assassinated, by not one or two, but multiple narcs and flying monkeys and groups of whisper networks, listen, if they are coming at you hard, it's because you're doing something right. If any one of them point the finger at you and say you're the narcissist, it's because you're not. They are. You don't need anyone's validation. You don't need anyone's criticism. You judge yourself. You do right for you. You're strong. That's why you are targeted by toxic people for destruction. because you are strong. You are authentic. You are unique. They're not. They're clones, carbon copies, NPCs, running around in clusters of manginas and hateful biddies. You don't need that. You don't need them. You can do it all on your own. When it comes to the sad aftermath when you recover from narcissistic abuse and you're dealing with what's left of the flying monkeys, when other narcs have recognized your strength or other toxic people recognize that you have come back up and you are a strong person and they are now huddled away in their little hate groups. They have now sunk back under the bridge. They have gone down. They have left you alone in public, and there's only like those one or two sad ones left that can't control their emotional dysfunction. That's when you should feel strong. That's when you've truly won. Winning against a narc. Winning against a narc that you are not in a relationship with. Winning against a narc like that, well, that's truth. That's growth. That's pointing out their hypocrisy. That's pointing out their disorder. Listen, I've been doing this for weeks now. Narcissists come at me in public, I point out what the narcissist is doing. I don't even talk about them. First off, a narcissist is a non-entity. If a narcissist treated you like an it or a thing, if you were a piece on their board, if they tried to treat you like you were a marionette, then you do the same thing back to them. A narcissist will always show you their weaknesses. That's what they project. They project their weaknesses as strengths. They devalue you in the very ways that they feel horrible about themselves. You can flip that script, 180 that right back into truth, from their delusion into truth. And you can come at them in that way. If you're dealing with narcissistic personalities like that, don't talk about them directly. Retweet them or do something, whatever it is that you need to. This is who I'm talking about, but don't say who you're talking about. And you explain the disorder or what they are enacting in as far as the disorder. That's all you have to do. They hate that. It invalidates their existence. They have to drink that negative fuel like poison. They think they're getting negative fuel, but they're actually being poisoned with truth. You're calling them out. Narcissists hate that. But most of all is growing and succeeding. And make that a momentary conflict. If you point out what a narcissist is doing at a narcissist or around a narcissist, that's all you need to do. Just point it out and then move on. Don't sit in that energy. Please subscribe. It's your first time here. I appreciate you. And that's the big secret. That's the big secret of it all. Defeating a narcissist, pointing out the truth. They hate the truth. Being authentic and succeeding. Be everything that the narcissist is not, right? Narcissists need external validation. You don't. They're escaping healing their broken inner child. That's why they have the narcissistic shell. You don't need a shell. You go right in. You heal what you need to heal, you face what you need to face, you integrate that, and you become more authentic and more powerful. Narcissists hate that. Succeeding in your endeavors. Stop, for God's sakes, caring what Narc X and Narc X's other supplies are doing with each other. Don't care. You know what's going on over there? More beatings, more abuse, more lies, triangulations, beating each other down, constant games, wearing each other out, using one another, destroying lives, just taking money. When that money dries, when the money drug supply, whatever it is that narc's looking for, dries up, that narc's going to move on like a locust to another field. And they're going to keep doing that until they age out. Women are going to hit the wall. Men can't hide that evil forever. Them looks won't last forever. And if they're good looking, God forbid if you were triangulated with an ugly ass, Neanderthal, low brow, piece of lying, emotionally mommy issue having trash. God, I must have hated myself. The secret, brothers and sisters, laugh at yourself. Now, it sounds a little opposite to like what healing should be, right? But no, you gotta laugh at yourself. You gotta find humor in it. You gotta laugh. Let it go. Drop those bricks. Move on with your life. Be a better version of yourself and continue on. You can do it. You can do it. It's a hard process. Jump into a new timeline where that narc never existed. It can be done. Trust me. My love to y'all. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Never again suffer that fool. Run.